You are Locked On Tigers Postcast, part of Locked On Sports Detroit on the Locked On Podcast Network. Your team every day.
Yes. Remember when baseball was fun in the Motor City, or following the Detroit Tigers team was fun? It wasn't that long ago before the Tigers of offense became what it is today. Welcome into another live Locked On Tigers postcast. Fired up to be with you as always. I am your host, Jake Riepma. You can follow me on Twitter at Jake_Riepma. And it's a double palms up kind of day. If you're watching on YouTube, here I am, double palms up. I can't do it anymore. I can't watch this offense anymore. I can't watch this team just continue to waste quality starting pitching outing after outing after outing. And if maybe someone smarter than me can tell me why this continues to be the way that it is, because it's one of those games, and I know I'm all over the place to begin, but it's taking the joy of watching baseball away because of how bad this offense is. But like I said, fired up to be with you. Tigers lose their fourth consecutive game, 2-1 in the series opener to the Cleveland Guardians. Tigers getting closer and closer to falling all the way back to 500. They're now 18-17. Cleveland with the win moves to 23-12. But we're going to break it all down on this live Locked On Tigers postcast. Thanks for making Locked On Tigers your first listen every day, free and available wherever you get podcasts and on YouTube, all part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. That's right. The Tigers can make you nauseous every single day. The Tigers offense can make you feel like you're getting a root canal every single day. Today's show also made possible by Monopoly Go. Game off for a second. Thank goodness we don't have to talk about the Tigers. We can talk about something more exciting. Monopoly Go, a fast-paced game that lets you team up with your friends for tournaments to unlock awesome prizes like unique stickers for trading, cool playing pieces, and hilarious emojis for taunting your friends. An hilarious emoji would be Spencer Torkelson up to bat. That would be hilarious. So download Monopoly Go, now free and on the Google Play or the App Store. Game on. And if you can't tell by now, the first segment is all about this offense. And let's get to the YouTube comments right away. My man Adam Salgett, tune it in. Do you think they do anything to improve this offense? They have to. The question is, do they do anything to improve this offense? It's kind of at this point like making spaghetti. Just throw a bunch of noodles to the wall, whatever one sticks, just go with it. Because you can't watch a team score, what is that now, 4 straight losses, and it won't take long to do the math. They didn't score a run on Friday, so that's 0. What they have, 2 on Saturday, 3 the other day, or whatever it was, so 5, 1 more today. That's 6 runs in their last 4 games. 6 runs in 4 games. So do anything. I mean, call up Akil Baddoo, call up Jace Jung. That's what I've been saying. Anybody from AAA to try to give this offense a spark. Buddy Kennedy, he was a spark at one point. Ibanez, he's not the biggest issue for this Tigers team, filled with many issues, but he has not looked good since coming back from the injured list. And you hear it in my voice, I'm at a loss, because you can't continue to trot out a lineup that has 6 and 7 holes up and down a 9-batter lineup. And this is the result that you get. And the post game going on right now, I'm very curious what AJ Hint's comments will be. And the live instant reaction for me is, again, it's a double palms up. It's a hat slam. I tweeted out the GIF of the late great Dennis Green, the old coach for the Vikings, and then famously with the Cardinals, when he's at the press conference slamming it down, saying, "They are who we thought they were. They are who we thought they were." And that's how I feel about this Tigers team. It was fun at the beginning of the season. They won some games. They won a lot of close games, but it was fool's gold. They are who we thought they were, and they stink. But trade something like that would be. I mentioned it the other day on the postcast, that the trade that the Marlins and Padres made. The Padres recognized the opportunity to go get a 2-time batting champ in Luis Herrera, and I just would love this Tigers front office to do something to change this, because you've got the pitching, you've got the starting pitching to win, you've got the bullpen. And when was the last time in Detroit we were proud of our bullpen? You've got components, you've got pieces to be a winning team. And I know it's May 6th, it's early, but tonight, I should say, really feels like that night where you just, the reality of the situation is really sinking in for me. It's hitting close to, it is hitting me like a ton of bricks. This offense is just not good whatsoever. But appreciate everybody tuning in. We will break down the game here, because a couple of pivotal points in that game is where the Tigers lost this one. Final score 2-1. Took a lot of notes on this game. I think we can go to the 8th inning, because that was obviously the most recent one. Just kind of a funny inning altogether. Carpenter misses a home run by what looks like a couple of inches. And at that point, you felt like, okay, even though he got a runner on second there with I believe it was with one out, you still didn't feel great about your chances to score there. Carpenter on second. Now, Craig Monroe called this a base running blunder by Carpenter, and I would agree, but Spencer Torkelson's not going to do anything. And instead of striking out like normal, he has a check swing, a little nubber down the third base line. And Jose Ramirez, and more on him in a second, he had the go-ahead home run, but he played terrible in that inning with a bad throw. That the fact that the official score ruled that a base hit for Torkelson is just egregious. It was not a base hit. It was a throwing error. It's a Major League Baseball player at third base over there. He has to be able to make that play. But anyways, Torkelson reaches on you do the air quotes if you're watching on YouTube, an infield single. And it's just absolutely brutal for that to be called an infield single. And anyways, the Tigers will take it, because now you've got 2 on and 1 out. And the next play, a ground ball. Again, Jose Ramirez just did not play a very good defensive third base in that half inning, because instead of, and I know Ibanez runs well, but you've got to feel better about your chances to go 5-4-3 around the horn on the double play on that ground ball than what he tried to do of tagging Carpenter to third and then throw over to second. So Carpenter was safe at third, so fielder's choice. Torkelson out at second, Carpenter again to third, and then Ibanez reaching on the fielder's choice. But in 3 pitches, Wenzel Perez, his magic might be running out as well, because he was just blown away, and he strikes out swinging threat over. So that was probably the Tigers' best threat. They go quietly 1-2-3 in the 9th. But let's talk a little bit, jump back with me all the way to the top half of the 5th, because again, it was anytime this offense has, I guess, a scoring threat, the margin for error is so small. So in the top of the 5th inning, you've got Mark Canha up to bat, who had with 2 on and 1 out after Baez led off with a single. Carson Kelly walked. Riley Green flew out to center, but at least on that, nice job by Javi Baez, I will give him that, to tag up and get to third with 1 out. Canha up to bat, and this was a turning point in the game. And it's only the 5th inning, which shows you how bad this offense really is, because in the 5th inning, Canha has the bat taken out of his hands, 7 pitches, all of them could have been called a ball, but instead he goes down looking. All 3 strikes that he took were clearly out of the strike zone. So tough break for the Tigers there. But when they don't score in the top of the 5th inning, you feel like, there goes our chance, and sure enough, the Guardians come back in the bottom of the 6th inning with that solo home run by Jose Ramirez. I think someone said it in the comments there that Ramirez is just a Tigers killer. He is. And he didn't play a very good defensive third base, but that home run obviously putting the Guardians up 2-1, and a 1-run deficit in the 6th inning, still with, 9 outs to get, shouldn't feel like a unaccomplishable task. I don't even know. That's not even a word. That's how rattled I am. But a task that this Tigers offense can't complete, obviously, is a 1-run game with still 9 outs to go. You just knew they weren't going to win. And a solo shot in the 6th inning for Jose Ramirez is the difference in this one. And just some numbers. I know they ruled Spencer Torkelson's check swing and infield single, which again, it wasn't. That was a throwing error all the way. But up until that, the Tigers were 0 0 for 11 with runners on base. Just egregious all the way around. They end up leaving 9 men on base, 1 for 9 with runners in scoring position. And just, this is the game you circle on the schedule and say, this is when we knew this Tigers offense was as bad as advertised. This is when we knew that this is not a team that's serious about winning. And Scott Harris and the front office should have seen this coming, or maybe they did see it coming and just didn't care. And whether it be with ownership, with Chris Ilitch, whoever it is, it's just so unfortunate that we as fans have this product to watch night in and night out. And Born Cool in the comments here. Good question. We have to lead the league with leaving guys on base. It certainly feels that way. Honestly, I don't have that stat off the top of my head, but probably. I mean, this is a Tigers team that I don't think they've gotten a clutch hit all season. So when it rains, it pours. 4th straight loss for the Tigers. And it's the same conversation. And that's why I scratched my head before we hit the live button here on the YouTube. What do I even say about this Tigers offense? Because it's the same thing over and over again. Good pitching, offense can't do anything. Tigers lose. 4th straight loss. Try to get back after it tomorrow against the Guardians in game 2 of the series. We will break down another quality start from Jack Flaherty. He looked really, really good, and get going on that, as well as we got to talk about those City Connect uniforms that were revealed. So that's all coming up next. Don't go anywhere. We continue on right after this on Locked On Tigers. All right, today's show brought to you by LinkedIn. That's right. Let's get straight to the point. Are you struggling to close deals? Maybe B2B selling is tougher than ever, and that's why I want to tell you about LinkedIn Sales Navigator. LinkedIn Sales Navigator is a sales intelligence platform that helps professionals effectively prospect and engage high-value customers, drive higher revenue, and increase sales performance. Could we get some kind of sales measure to help this Tigers offense? Sales Navigator helps you target the right buyers, surface key signals such as job changes or which accounts you should prioritize. It also shows you hidden allies so you can find those buyers that are most likely to convert. Fueled by LinkedIn's 1 billion member platform, Sales Navigator gives you the most up-to-date first-party data, enabling you to unlock conversations with the people that matter. And right now, pay attention. If you have tuned me out up until now, right now, you got to pay attention. You can try LinkedIn Sales Navigator and get a 60-day free trial at linkedin.com/lockedon. That's linkedin.com/lockedon for a 60-day free trial. Tell you what, I'd rather try LinkedIn Sales Navigator for 60 days than watch this Tigers team for another 60 days. Let LinkedIn Sales Navigator help you sell like a superstar today. Just go to linkedin.com/lockedon to get started. All right, today's show also brought to you by Monopoly Go. That's right, game off. We got to pause here and talk a little bit more about Monopoly Go. And I know what you're saying. Flag on the play, Riepma. You've already talked about that, but guess what? There's so much good stuff in this game. Monopoly Go, you can team up with your friends for time tournaments where you work together to build each other's boards. The more you win together, the more awesome prizes you unlock. There's so much to get. Unique stickers you can trade with to complete albums for big prizes, cool new playing pieces to travel the boards with. What? Hilarious emojis for taunting your friends when you smash their buildings and heist their vaults. Plus, Monopoly Go feels new and exciting every day, unlike Tiger Baseball, with constantly changing tournaments and challenges. There's a ton to include in our own unique mini games like digging for treasure. Who doesn't love that? And there's always new timed events that help you win big, like massive multipliers for everything you win or rent frenzies. There's always something fun to discover in Monopoly Go. So get off the bench and go download it now, free on Google Play or the Apple Store. The App Store. Game on, Monopoly Go. All right, deep breaths, Jake. Deep breaths. I'm sorry, I'm coming unglued a little bit. So let's at least talk a little positive notes from the start from Jack Flaherty. Another really good outing, and it feels like I'm going to say the same thing over and over again. The margin for error, even with the leadoff home run by Riley Green, you get yourself a little bit of a lead, but Cleveland comes right back, gets one in the home half of the first. But all told, I thought Flaherty was really good. 6 innings, 6 hits, 2 earned runs, 1 walk, 6 strikeouts, and the 1 home run that he allowed to Jose Ramirez. And look, it wasn't some kind of, dominating start from Flaherty by any means, but what is a starting pitcher's job to do? Give your team a chance to win, and Flaherty did exactly that. So it's a bummer that once again, for what seems like the umpteenth time of this season, and it's only May 6th, the Tigers waste a really good outing. And a solo home run in the 6th inning that was off the foul pole. And it's so demoralizing when you have to be flawless, and one pitch gets away and your team loses the game because their inability to play on the other side and manufacture runs in any capacity. So it's frustrating. Again, it's a broken record, and I'm sorry. I don't know what the answer is. I feel for the starting pitcher, for the starting pitching staff for this Detroit Tigers team, because it's just not fair, and it's going to start to take its toll. And all of a sudden, these quality starts that seemingly you can count on every single night from the Tigers starting rotation, it's just there's going to be nights where it's not there. And I don't, and again, we're getting ahead of ourselves here. It's May 6th, but the thought of a starting pitcher going out there and not giving everything he has and giving the Tigers the best chance to win, that just hasn't been the case. And what do we always say? You can win with the type of starting pitching this Tigers team has, but the front office decided to neglect the offensive side of things with this Tigers team and the construction of this roster, which is why we are in the situation that we are. And it was really exciting, the beginning of the season. And I sound really negative right now, and I'm sorry. I don't know how not to be negative about how bad this Tigers offense has been, but as a whole, this pitching staff has been really good. Flaherty, again, backed up his last outing against the Cardinals. That was so good. Now, tonight, he was really good again against the Guardians. 6 innings, 6 hits, season high 102 pitches. So I thought that was kind of interesting that AJ Hinch let him go as long as he did with 102 pitches. But he really attacked the zone. 66 of those 101 pitches, 66 of them were for strikes. And then Joey Wentz, and I guess albeit a low pressure situation, pitched line was really good as well, with 2 innings and 1 just giving up the 1 hit, did not give up a run. But it doesn't matter, because once again, the Tigers offense nowhere to be found. So Cleveland wins it 2-1. Tigers fall to 10-8 on the road, 18-17 overall. Cleveland now pulling ahead 23-12, 11-5. And again, the good vibes, it's a long season, but the good vibes certainly hard to come by right now. So maybe we'll try and turn that around and talk about those dazzling new City Connect uniforms. We could do some studs and duds as well, because again, there's a lot more duds than there are studs. But that said, we'll continue to keep it going on this live edition of Locked On Tigers Postcast. Don't go anywhere. We talk about those City Connect uniforms next on Locked On Tigers Postcast. Hey, I'm fired up to tell you about Yahoo Finance. That's right, Yahoo Finance. Everything you need all in one place. Really good stuff there. Yahoo Finance is the platform. And you know what? We're gonna do this one right on over again. Live programming here, folks. This is what it's all about, because the Yahoo Finance is nowhere to be found. So hang on in there. That's what we love about the live edition of what it's all about here on Locked On Tigers Postcast. Here we go. Now I'm fired up to tell you all about Yahoo Finance. Let's get straight to the point. You want to grow your portfolio to deal with the rising costs of inflation. You want to pay off your debt, or your mortgage. Pretty much anything standing in the way of you and financial freedom, right? Well, with Yahoo Finance, you can get access to the news, data, tools that you need to help you reach that financial freedom. For more than 25 years, Yahoo Finance has been the brand behind every great investor. So whether you're a seasoned investor or you're looking for that extra guidance, Yahoo Finance gives you all the tools and data you need in one place. They are the #1 finance destination, producing a holistic look at the financial news cycle, including breaking news, original editorial perspectives, analyst ratings, independent research, customizable charts, and oh, so much more. You can securely link your brokerage accounts for a unified view of your wealth, including 401k and other investments. A comprehensive perspective is what sets apart great investors, and it's how Yahoo Finance assures the insight to look at your wealth in its entirety. With a community of over 90 million users each month, their real strength is helping you on your way to financial success. So for a comprehensive financial news and analysis, visit the brand behind every great investor, yahoofinance.com. The #1 financial destination, yahoofinance.com. That's yahoofinance.com. All right, we wrap it up with the City Connect jerseys. Look, I had high hopes. I thought this would be a really, really cool opportunity for the Detroit Tigers to really showcase what makes Detroit great. And I'm starting to come around on them a little bit. At first, I didn't love the hat. And the more I look at it, the VIN number's cool. The jerseys, the tire treads, I get what we were going for there, but is it my favorite look? Not really. I tweeted this out earlier. I kind of get adult softball vibes from it. And I know the City Connect uniforms are supposed to be a little bit more, unique and a little bit more out there, if you will. But the trouble with it is the Tigers, original home uniform is so good. It hasn't needed to be changed for hundreds of years. So it's in one sense, I did have high expectations for the City Connect uniforms, and on the other hand, it's not horrible. I know that's not a ringing endorsement, but I would have liked them to tie in some orange with it. The electric blue. I watched the video that Simo was on and Eminem and everybody else, and I liked the attention to detail with the electric blue. The patch on the side with the #1 in bold and then the 313 a little bit lighter, with obviously the #1 and in the shape of the Highway 1 Woodward sign is really cool. Nice touch to that. It'll be interesting to see what they look like in person. The hat, again, going back to the hat with the tiger eyes under the bill, I never really got that because you never see it unless the hat is off, and I don't understand. I mean, again, this is just my dumb brain. So apologies in advance that you're having to listen to me articulate what's going on in my brain. But I will say this. One of my dream jobs as a kid was to design football uniforms, baseball uniforms, hockey sweaters, and so on and so forth. So I'm certainly not an expert, but I am fascinated by uniforms. I always think that's a fun topic of discussion. So curious what you think in the comments of the Tigers reveal of the City Connect jerseys. The hats leave some to be desired. I saw a lot of people online saying the hats look like you could just get them at the gas station, which you're not far from there. Born Cool weighing in here. City Connects aren't great, but they're not terrible. I like the Woodward patch. Nice touch. That's almost exactly where I am. I would have liked somehow to get the Spirit of Detroit on there. And maybe I'm kind of a fan of the smaller back of the neck logos. I think you see like with the World Baseball Classic uniforms, a lot of times you'll see the country's flag in that back portion of the neck. That could have been a cool spot for the Spirit of Detroit. And again, I saw one mock-up online with orange trim around both the front of the Motor City and around the front of the button. I think the orange, some type of orange added to the City Connect jersey would have been a nice touch. But overall, again, I gave it a C- with some nice touches and some other parts that left a little bit more to be desired. That said, it's so funny when especially when there's such anticipation for a reveal of a uniform. You just think, what are your expectations going to be met? And in a lot of ways, mine were not. And I think and I don't even know what I was expecting, but the electric blue it didn't resonate with me, if that makes sense. It didn't feel like I connected with the City Connect jersey from that standpoint. But the concept overall is cool. Although I feel like we being the city of Detroit, anytime Nike, whoever is in charge of the design with Nike, hey, design an alternate jersey for Detroit. Okay, Motor City. And there was a lot of screenshots being shared of the Pistons alternate Motor City uniforms. And every time there's an alternate concept to a Detroit team's uniform, it's just the default becomes Motor City. And I think the city in general has so much to offer, such strong history, such strong culture, and so forth, that there could have been more creativity implemented than just the Motor City. But overall, again, C-. And a lot of the City Connect uniforms across baseball aren't really that great. The batting helmet, I'm curious what that's going to look like. I think, and this might be, I don't know if anybody else feels this way, but it feels like the batting helmet, depending on the lighting that the photo was taken, depends on how drastic the contrast is from the solid dark blue at the base of the helmet to the electric blue, where it fades into that electric blue at the top. So I'll be curious to see what they look like in person and what they look like on TV when they wear them this weekend against the Astros. Matt Wood chiming in here, needed a Motown touch. I agree. Yeah, Motown oftentimes gets slept on. It's always, and again, it's probably not fair to compare them to the Pistons alternate uniforms that we've seen in years past with the Motor City touch, but it feels like, because almost like the Motor City, that box has already been checked, and there could have been more components of Detroit that were on full display on the uniform than just going straight into the Motor City. But the tire track concept, or the tire tread concept, it's okay. Again, I said I got kind of adult league softball vibes from it, but overall I'll go C-. Let me know what your grade is for the overall uniform down in the comments. But again, we'll see what they look like in person, and maybe that will bring some life to the offense, because the Tigers offense has been terrible. No other way to put it. So Tigers lose their fourth consecutive game, 2-1 the score, and this one fall to 18-17, now 10-8 on the road. Guardians 23-12 with the win, 11-5 at home. And up next in game 2, the Tigers will put their trust in Kenta Maeda, though he is coming off a win. So 1-1 on the season, ERA north of 5 against Logan Allen, the southpaw for the Cleveland Guardians, 3-2 on the season with an ERA at 5.11. First pitch, 6:10 Eastern time. How do you like that early start time? Anybody a fan of it? I for one, like it. I don't mind an early start time. It's, instead of waiting around all day, we're ready to go right from the beginning. Maybe this Tigers offense will be ready to go. But once again, a terrible day from the Tigers offensively, aside from the first pitch of the game. Riley Green led off with a home run, and that's now 2 leadoff home runs in 3 games, which is pretty awesome. But after that, zip, zilch, nada, however you want to say it. Another terrible game for Spencer Torkelson. I mean, technically he gets a hit that check swing, but it is what it is. Kerry Carpenter had a double that was just missed a home run that would have tied the game up. But other than that, just a lot of goose eggs. I guess Colt Keith got a bloop single in there, but a lot of zeros on that board. And probably the biggest stat, the Tigers 1 for 9 with runners in scoring position and 9 men left on base. Try to be better tomorrow. That's always the goal. But until then, thanks so much for tuning in. Appreciate everybody's comments on the YouTube. Oh, one I missed there. Mary Jo Isaacson, batting coach, has got to help the players to hit. Yeah, I completely agree there. And shout out to my grandparents. They were at the game. They made the trip to Cleveland. So maybe that's what they'll do tonight, is just talk to some talk to AJ Hinch, talk to everybody else, and see if they can figure it out. So that said, Tigers lose this one 2-1, and game 2 of the series comes your way tomorrow. We'll be on the air afterwards. Until then, have a wonderful evening, and we'll talk to you next time on Locked On Tigers Postcast.